1. Introduction. RAWSEP view. The United States government was on track in the Biden administration to reduce the prices for both clean energy heat pumps and clean energy electric cars. Trump tariffs are expected to upset those plans to prevent future air pollution and prevent climate change. The United States government should, instead of certifying wood stoves as safe when they are not safe, go forward with regulations that ban wood stove use and direct government money for use of forest refuse only. For home building and furniture building. For just a few examples of use of forest products for non-burning uses, it is well known from scientific and medical research that wood burning is a substantial source of PM 2.5 emissions, yet the wood burning industry uses the scientifically debunked theory named carbon neutrality of wood burning to argue that wood burning replacing coal burning in industry, and in a trickle-down argument that wood burning should continue for home heating should continue. Presumably because it is called renewable. Wood may be renewable in the sense that a tree can be planted in the place of a cut-down burned tree, but it takes centuries or decades for the newly planted tree to attain the stature of the cut-down burned tree. During those centuries or decades, photosynthesis, which converts CO2 to oxygen and so sequesters some carbon, will not take place at the same rate as photosynthesis was performed previously, and wood burning emits both CO2 and PM 2.5, and PM 2.5 is not absorbed by trees, so PM 2.5 is not diminished by planting a tree in the place of a cut-down and burned tree. In fact, a living tree closes its pores against the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning, just as humans hold their breath in the presence of PM 2.5 from nearby wood burning. And when a tree closes its pores, the level of photosynthesis that absorbs CO2 pollution goes down. Wood burning emits 90% PM 2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lungs, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Contrary to many beliefs, wood burning emits 2.8 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel coal burning, and wood burning emits 450 times the PM 2.5 as the fossil fuel natural gas burning. Replacing coal burning with wood burning creates more air pollution in the form of CO2 and PM 2.5 than coal burning. This emission data comes from testing the cleanest burning wood stove in the United Kingdom, the Eco-Design Wood Stove, and International Convention does not count the emissions from wood burning. The emissions from wood burning are erased from all countries around the world when calculating if each country has met its climate goals. This non-counting or erasure of wood burning emissions data from climate goals does not mean wood burning emissions do not exist. RAWSEP view. Purple air. PM 2.5 monitors hanging from the eaves of the house of a near neighbor should be used to measure the level of PM 2.5 in the air hyperlocally in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners. If PM 2.5 levels exceed World Health Organization standards of 5 micrograms per cubic meter annually, then that evidence of air pollution from wood burning should lead to the shutdown of that indoor residential wood burning appliance, one appliance at a time if necessary.
Hi, my name is Lily. Andrew gave you the intro to Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates and their concern for air pollution from indoor residential wood burning. Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates, or RAWSEP, would like every near neighbor of an indoor residential wood burner whose wood smoke enters their yards and sickens the near neighbors to have a purple air PM 2.5 monitor hanging from the eaves of their home to measure the level of PM 2.5 entering their yards. That measurement of air pollution should be used as evidence of unnecessary air pollution, and each indoor residential wood burner should be shut down based on that evidence, one indoor residential wood burner at a time if necessary. The presentation by Andrew ended at 2 minutes 5 seconds. The same presentation by Emma starts at 2 minutes 3 seconds before the end of this podcast. So I am Lily, your timekeeper, and you can start the next podcast at 2 minutes 5 seconds in if you would not like to see the presentation by Andrew a second time. This presentation by me, Lily, ends at 5 minutes in. What you will see in the main content of this RAWSEP podcast will be news about air pollution from indoor residential wood burning, and how that air pollution is being combated by ordinary people just like you who are unfortunately near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners at this time. There will also be news about unnecessary and highly polluting use of wood as fuel in industrial wood burners and preventable air pollution from wood burning wildfires. There will also be news about air pollution from PM 2.5 from gas-powered cars. There will also be news about airborne diseases which are also preventable with vaccines such as COVID-19 and measles and whooping cough, to name just a few. In 2025, Residents Against Wood Smoke Emission Particulates is also concerned with combating the Trump destruction of government funding for programs which protect human health through the Department of Health and Human Services, and Trump destruction of programs which fund the science and medical research plan to protect human health from preventable illnesses. Protecting human health is a patriotic act, and our defense against enemies is weakened if we are not as healthy as we can be. Heat pump rebates are now offered by the federal government, distributed through the eligible United States, are available in 2025, and are the best, cleanest, and now cheapest alternative to indoor residential wood burning if that burning is actually done to purportedly save money. Wind and solar as sources of the electricity that powers heat pumps and electric cars is also cheaper than burning wood. The adverse health effects that are caused by indoor residential wood burning also come at a cost to near neighbors, both in shortening and ending their lives, and in actual hospital, clinic, and funeral costs. Instead of being compensated monetarily, near neighbors should instead be able to achieve immediate relief by stopping indoor residential wood burning in their hyper-localized neighborhoods, which relief readings from purple air PM 2.5 monitors used as evidence of air pollution will help them achieve. Welcome to news about hopeful scientific and medical achievements that will also help us achieve the goal of clean air to breathe.
Webisode 57DHXZY December 3rd, 2025, Making Deadly Cringe Ideas Fringe for Public Health. Part 1, Making Deadly Cringe Ideas Fringe for Public Health. Larry the Litigator, our 3 contestants on our RAWSEP Game Show today, compete to find out who can make a deadly cringe idea most fringe in the service of protecting the public. Who makes a specific attack on public health most fringe? RAWSEP Audience Larry the Litigator. We, the RAWSEP audience, think you mean our 3 contestants will compete to find out who can make a deadly fringe idea most cringe in the service of protecting the public? Who makes a specific attack on public health most cringe? Larry the Litigator, right you are. RAWSEP audience. The most perceptive audience ever gathered in this air-purified studio but still wearing the ski goggles that mark us all, and those watching at home in their ski goggles in their own backyards as fellow sufferers from indoor residential wood-burning PM 2.5 emissions that sting our eyes and could cause long-term eye damage if we are not responsible wearers of our stylish version of personal protective equipment PP in our own backyards. RAWSEP audience, why do we wear stylish ski goggles again, Larry the Litigator? Larry the Litigator because you wear it well. RAWSEP audience, come on, Larry the Litigator. This is our version of a bedtime story or an urban myth. Larry the Litigator, far be it from me to turn down a request to lull an audience into thinking this is Fantasyland. This TV studio is an artistic masterpiece. Air purifiers every 10 feet continuously hum. Sometimes people even wear N95 masks in here, and this studio resembles a Venice masquerade during the Black Death period in the Middle Ages. Very evocative of danger and intrigue at what many thought was the end of the world. And it was, if you caught the Black Death. RAWSEP audience, come on, Larry the Litigator. You have a handsome face and lustrous hair, but sometimes the drapes do not match the gray cells of your brain. Put those gray cells of your brain to work, or at least let us tell you what we already found about the truth of when exactly those Venice masquerades first happened, like what century. From AI overview excerpts edited by RAWSEP for brevity and clarity in relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. People in Venice, specifically plague doctors, wore beaked masks during the 17th century, or if you will, the 1600s AD, during outbreaks to prevent the Black Death in the 1600s, not to stop the Black Death from the Middle Ages. The masks were part of a protective costume worn by physicians who believed disease spread through miasma or foul air. They filled the beak, which resembled a bird beak, with aromatic herbs and spices to ward off the bad air they thought caused the plague, while also wearing a long waxed coat and carrying a stick to avoid touching patients. Larry the Litigator, well, that does not sound very fun or festive. Eddie the fact-checker/etymologist may know. It was very cheechy. French physician Charles Delorme is credited with wearing this outfit to treat plague victims. RAWSEP audience, come on, Larry the Litigator. Get with the program. More from AI overview. Why did physicians in the 1600s wear the masks in Venice? Miasma theory. Doctors believed that plague was transmitted through miasma or poisoned air, and the mask was intended to filter the air before it was inhaled. Protective herbs. The long beak-like nose of the mask was filled with aromatic herbs and spices like rosemary, mint, or camphor, which were thought to purify the air. Sanitary precaution. The mask, along with the long waxed coat and gloves, was part of a complete uniform designed to protect the physician from direct contact with patients and their environment. Avoidance of contact. A long stick was carried to examine and move patients without physically touching them. Larry the Litigator, the protective herbs part sounds a little like the Make America Hate Again movement fringe ideas. Not based on science, but a little something that a mother who hates her children would impose on them just to be a fashionable vegan. RAWSEP audience, yes. Protective herbs in a bird beak mask has no scientifically proven effect on preventing the plague. We know that now, 400 years later, because we are currently a society of people surviving, because our modern society is based on scientific inquiry and medical practices based on science that attempt to save lives. Notice the use of the word science, as in the phrase the scientific method. The addition of herbs was like a shot in the dark on a basketball court with no illumination, if you catch my drift. Eddie, our fact-checker/etymologist, says that under those conditions the basketball bounces wildly athwart, to use the lingo of the 1600s. The Make America Hate Again movement cheers and coughs on the sidelines just because herbs were used instead of sitting idly in herb containers because their kids hate marjoram. But social distancing using the long stick and additional flimsy protection from airborne particles with the bird beak mask in the 1600s, those two things might have tangentially had some beneficial effect in preventing plague transmission by close contact. Sorry suckers if it had no effect. Larry the Litigator, those bird beak masks were an attempt to prevent transmission, not unlike the truly scientifically proven personal protection equipment of today of N95 masks. RAWSEP Audience Eddie, our fact-checker/etymologist, consulted AI overview again, and we must publish a correction. The term athwart originated in the 1400s, not the 1600s. AI overview: the term athwart first appeared in the late Middle English period with the earliest documented use dating to around 1470. It is formed from the prefix a and the word thwart, and originally meant crosswise or from side to side etymology. It is a combination of the prefix a meaning toward or on, and the word thwart original meaning crosswise from side to side or across the line of a course of a ship. Larry the Litigator, Eddie, you are gumming up the works here. Let us get on with the game. To sum up, the bird beak mask of 1600s Venice was a precursor in style to the N95 mask of today, used to block COVID-19 transmission. Alas, the bird beak mask was only stylish, and the scientifically proven benefit of wearing an N95 mask was not inherent in the 1600s bird beak mask. RAWSEP Audience, close enough explanation. Larry the Litigator. We are waiting for you to introduce the three contestants. Larry the Litigator, come on down. Contestant number 1 makes a deadly fringe idea very cringe in the service of protecting the public. Adele makes a specific attack on public health most cringe. Before the show, Adele told a staffer that she intends to make indoor residential wood burning unpopular by using the words chuggy or sigma. Unfortunately, these slang terms have peaked in 2025, and now these terms themselves are now supposedly not widely used. Do you want to change the pejorative terms in midstream, so to speak, Adele? Adele, okay. I will simply say that indoor residential wood burning is cringe or sus. Cringe or sus. Larry the Litigator, come on down. Contestant number 2 makes a deadly fringe idea very cringe in the service of protecting the public. Bick makes a specific attack on public health most cringe. Bick makes speeding while drunk driving down a residential street unpopular when termed as cringe or sus. These slang terms are still in use among the Conoscenti in 2025. Bick, let me just say that I agree with Adele about indoor residential wood burning being cringe or sus too. Besides the danger to public health of hitting a residential pedestrian while speeding while drunk driving down a residential street, the act of driving a gas-powered vehicle also emits PM 2.5 particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Gas-powered vehicle emissions are second only to indoor residential wood burning in percentage of PM 2.5 emissions polluting the United Kingdom since at least 2022. 29% in the UK, 29% of PM 2.5 emissions in 2022 came from domestic wood burning. This source is the highest in terms of percentage compared to other emissions, and it has been noted that wood burning is the only source of PM 2.5 emissions that has increased over the period covered in the research. Larry the Litigator, do you want to win this competition or not, Bick? First place is a legal stop to the named threat to public health in your neighborhood. Second place is an air purifier. Third place is only one N95 mask. RAWSEP Audience, way to break the news way too early, Larry the Litigator. Bick, let me just say that monitoring of indoor residential wood burning by a near neighbor with a low-cost purple air PM 2.5 monitor is similar to monitoring of speeding in a residential area with a low-cost resident-owned monitor called a radar gun. And drunk driving can be monitored and stopped if the drunk driver is required to breathe into a breathalyzer connected to an ignition interlock before trying to start his or her vehicle, if that breathalyzer is a court order, such as when a drunk driver is a repeat offender. Larry the Litigator, I have the floor here. Bick, are you saying you like monitoring speeding in a residential area? Bick, it is easy to make that mistake, Larry the Litigator. I abhor the extra time and energy of pointing a radar gun at the vehicle of a drunk driver who routinely speeds down my residential street. And then I have to call law enforcement so that they can use their own radar guns to substantiate my claim of routine drunk driving speeding. And then I have to sue for records about whether a breathalyzer has been court-ordered for the drunk driver, but the drunk driver routinely bypasses the breathalyzer. Eddie the fact-checker/etymologist. To stop an ignition interlock device ID from working, you must first understand the operation of the device and the reasons for its lockout. Here are some common causes and solutions for ID lockouts. Failed breath test. If you fail a breath test, the ID will enter lockout mode for a state-specified amount of time. You can then provide another breath sample to start your car battery. Issues: a weak or dead battery can prevent the ID from functioning properly. Check the health of your battery and connections, and consider having it tested or replaced by a professional. Electrical problems. If the ID will not turn on, it could be due to a power issue or electrical problem. Ensure the device is securely connected, and check the fuse box of your car. Maintenance needs. Regular maintenance is necessary for vehicles with IIDs. Notify your mechanic and report any maintenance needs through the Intoxilock mobile app or My Account. If you encounter any issues with your IID, it is important to follow the instructions provided by your IID provider and contact their customer service for assistance. Larry the Litigator. Sounds to me like even when an IID does not work, it still probably keeps a drunk driver from driving his or her vehicle. Let us move on. Vic, and there have to be ordinances or laws which allow radar gun data from your radar gun or a police radar gun to be used by police to stop speeding drivers on my residential street. Larry the Litigator. Do you realize that this is a competition put on by RAWSEP, aka Residents Against with Smoke Emission Particulates, and by a voice vote of the audience, the RAWSEP audience will probably vote for contestant number 1 to win anyway? Vic, I maintain that educating the RAWSEP audience about the similarities between indoor residential wood burning and drunk driving speeding on a residential street, because both release PM 2.5 toxin into the air and both threaten the lives and health of innocent near neighbors of the indoor residential wood burner and the speeder through their residential street, is worth it, and the individual actions of monitoring these actions that threaten our lives and the lives of our families can change and end this behavior destructive to the lives and health of near neighbors. Larry the Litigator. I suppose getting ordinances or laws passed to allow using PM 2.5 monitoring data, whether done by the resident or by the police later to corroborate, used in courtrooms or for police enforcement of pollution laws against indoor residential wood burning, is as important to RAWSEP as getting similar speeding laws based on radar gun data passed is important to you, Vic, and your organization. What is the name of your organization? Vic, well, I am not a biological mother, so if put on the spot, I would call my organization MFADD. Larry the Litigator. Well put, Vic. Well put. RAWSEP audience, contestant number 3, please. Larry the Litigator, come on down. Contestant number 3 makes a deadly fringe idea very cringe in the service of protecting the public. Carrie G makes his issue cringe by accident, just by being himself. I will interview Carrie for the purpose of making his issue cringe right now. Carrie G makes his specific attack on public health most cringe. Before the show, Carrie G told a staffer that he intends to make vaccines unpopular as the terms chuggy or sigma now are. Unfortunately, these slang terms have peaked in 2025, and now these terms themselves are now supposedly not widely used. Do you want to change the terms in midstream, so to speak, Carrie G? Carrie G, I want to make vaccines as unpopular as carrion found on the road after a month in the sun. Larry the Litigator, what is your interest in carrion, Carrie G? Carrie G, carrion is delightful when the blood after 1 week remains oozed onto the pavement, and the tang of decay is not so harsh. But I have my standards, although most will not understand my standards. My ACIP committee understands my standards, and carrion found and eaten after a month caused a worm to eat part of my brain. Eddie the fact-checker/etymologist. Carrion is the decaying flesh of dead animals. The use in a sentence is a crow wheeled over the hills in search of carrion. Larry the Litigator, thank you for sharing. That explains a lot. You have pet crows, Carrie G? Carrie G, they feed me. I pay them. Symbiotic. Natural. Larry the Litigator, I noticed your voice is forced and hard to understand, yet videos of you in your youth show a normal speaking voice. Some have cruelly noted that you were a heroin addict for decades, and that horrible experience might have something to do with your interesting shriek of a voice unheard from any other living person in the experience of most people. Carrie G, do you understand how many times I had to shriek to be heard in my life? Larry the Litigator, were you not handed speaking engagements from a young age because of your connection to illustrious antecedents? Carrie G, forced onto the stage with little preparation except a golden ticket to the big time. A child star. Larry the Litigator, a grown-up child star with the physique of a flaccid lobster, at least from looking at your face. How did that unnatural abomination come about? Carrie G, I deal with issues about my appearance by using a tanning bed daily. Can you blame me? It is super relaxing to know that at least my skin is being taken care of. Larry the Litigator, while this has been illuminating, and I enjoyed our conversation and the insights into your character that it revealed. Carrie G, just do not offer fast food after this contest is over. I look after my health by avoiding ultra-processed food. Larry the Litigator, interesting how you pick and choose your issues. Why are you intent on denying the American people access to vaccines? Carrie G, given my daily work counseling former heroin addicts, I have earned the right to make others suffer as much as former heroin addicts suffer every day. Former heroin addicts can also relapse and die suddenly. It is very dramatic and like reality TV when that happens. That gets my juices flowing. Larry the Litigator, that reminds me. Maybe moisturizer would help your face? Carrie G, reality TV. I now work for the master of reality TV. Firing people for no reason really got his juices flowing. Now I can watch up close when he give the orders. Fire this public servant. Fire that public servant. And now I can do it myself. Larry the Litigator, funny how most members of your illustrious family have dedicated their lives to public service, which included public health in many instances, and yet you are taking actions to deny life-saving vaccines to most Americans? Is that ironic? Carrie G, members of my so-called illustrious family have long memories and remember my youthful escapades. A younger member says she is embarrassed by me. I bet they eat ultra-processed food. Larry the Litigator, you do not see the illustrious members of your family? Carrie G, I was a child star. They want to hitch themselves to my rainbow. Larry the Litigator, more like a bloody brow than a rainbow. Eddie the fact-checker/etymologist, did you know that Washington ordered smallpox inoculations for his troops during the Revolutionary War and saved countless lives? If you are counting percentages, then 30% usually die from contracting smallpox, while only 2% of Washington troops exposed to smallpox died after they received the smallpox inoculation. Percentage of death from smallpox inoculation or vaccination itself back then was much higher than any rare deaths from COVID-19 vaccination today. According to Wikipedia, the last naturally occurring case of smallpox was diagnosed in October 1977, and the World Health Organization (WHO) certified the global eradication of the disease in 1980, making smallpox the only human disease to have been eradicated to date. COVID-19 vaccination today overwhelmingly saves lives rather than taking lives. According to AI Overview, the hepatitis B vaccine is a safe and effective way to prevent hepatitis B, a liver disease that can be a short-term illness or lead to a serious lifelong infection. The vaccine is recommended for all infants, children, and adolescents who have not been vaccinated, as well as adults aged 19 to 59 and older adults with risk factors. The vaccine is usually given as a series of 2 or 3 shots, and can be administered at the same time as other vaccines who should get the vaccine. Infants, the first dose is recommended at birth. Children and adolescents, anyone under 19 who has not been vaccinated should get the vaccine. Adults, the CDC recommends vaccination for all adults aged 19 to 59. Adults 60 and older, those in this age group, should be vaccinated if they are at increased risk of exposure, and others may choose to be vaccinated, as well. Safety and side effects. The vaccine is considered safe and effective and provides long-term protection. Some people may experience minor side effects such as soreness, fever, or fatigue, but more serious allergic reactions are rare. It will not protect you if you are already infected with hepatitis B at the time of vaccination. Larry G, as a former heroin addict, I may already be infected with hepatitis B. Why should infants be offered more protection than I can ever get? RAWSEP Audience, hey, I think we have heard enough. The vocoder that translates the garbled, possibly heroin-altered voice works okay, but Carrie G seems tired from shrieking. The trauma of listening to that voice is a good excuse for us to stop asking the questions that Carrie G still needs to answer. We know that Carrie G carries on as a mentor to former heroin addicts, and that explains his motivation for taking away vaccine access to most Americans. At least, that is what Carrie G believes. The fact that vaccine denial has already led to numerous unnecessary deaths across the United States in 2025, and the fact that vaccine denial in the future will lead to additional unnecessary death across the United States, seems to interest Carrie G not one whit. Let us vote now and forever hold our peace, or at least until the next pandemic comes along. Larry the Litigator okay. Who is number 3? RAWSEP Audience Carrie G. 1 N95 Mask. Larry the Litigator okay. Who is number 2? RAWSEP Audience BIC of MFADD. 1 Air Purifier. Larry the Litigator okay. Who is number 1? RAWSEP Audience Adele, who has a Purple Air PM 2.5 monitor and 3 years of data on the levels of PM 2.5 above World Health Organization standards of 5 micrograms per cubic meter annually, all courtesy of the emissions from the indoor residential wood burner of her near neighbor entering her yard and infiltrating her home. Adele already has masks and air purifiers. Adele needs legal representation to create ordinances or laws that make that evidence of harm justification to shut down the indoor residential wood burner or wood burners of her near neighbor one wood burning appliance at a time, if necessary. Larry the Litigator, that is your motto, is it not, RAWSEP Audience? You might want to shorten that motto. I will get back to you, RAWSEP Audience. The RAWSEP Audience never had more riz than right now. Despite its length, the fact-checking of Eddie the fact-checker/etymologist was spot on and no cap. Eddie the fact-checker/etymologist, no cap, means no lie or for real Larry the Litigator, and finally Carrie G slayed. For all the wrong reasons. RAWSEP Audience and Carrie G will probably slay more after the ACIP meetings this week. For all the wrong reasons. 6-7. Larry the Litigator goodbye, for now everyone. 6-7. Signing off and keep it clean. RAWSEP Audience all together 6-7.
Red Green Fox here. The quick Red Green Fox jumped over the barriers to clean air. Red Green Fox here. Ready to sing to you the names of the 2025 major wood-burning biomass industry subsidy opponents. 1 Biofuel Watch. 2 Bulkley Valley Stewardship Coalition of British Columbia, Canada. 3 Comite Schoen Luft, which means Beautiful Air Committee in German. 4 Dogwood Alliance. 5 Equity Group Foundation, nicknamed EGF. 6 Environmental Paper Network, nicknamed EPN. 7 Natural Resources Defense Council, nicknamed NRDC. 8 Prakaunia Narzexwissenskich Istet, which means Workshop for All Beings in Polish. 9 Rachel Carson Council. 10 Solutions for Our Climate, nicknamed SFOC.